The Battle of Sanakang, Mamfe, was a notable military engagement during the First World War, fought between British and German forces in the West African theater. This battle occurred in the area around Mamfe, a town located in what is now modern-day Cameroon, close to the border with Nigeria. It was part of the broader Anglo-French efforts to capture German Kameroon, a significant German colony at the time, context and strategic importance. At the outset of World War I, German Kameroon was a well-established colony, but it was surrounded by Allied territories, British Nigeria, French Equatorial Africa, and Belgian Congo, making it vulnerable. The West African campaign aimed to neutralize German control in the region, as Germany could potentially use Cameroon as a base to disrupt Allied operations in Africa and exploit local resources. Mamfe, located on the western front of the German colony near the border with Nigeria, became a strategic point for the Allies. Control of Mamfe would facilitate further advances into the heart of Cameroon and allow the British to cut off German supply lines. The Germans, aware of this, fortified the region and positioned troops to defend it pre-battle maneuvers. The battle around Mamfe was part of the British Nigeria Regiment's broader campaign to push German forces out of western Cameroon. The British forces, composed of West African soldiers led by British officers, had been advancing along the Cross River and its tributaries, aiming to outflank and capture key German positions in the region. The Germans, under the leadership of experienced commanders, had established defensive positions along the rivers and key transportation routes to slow down the British advance. In the early stages, the British encountered fierce resistance from German colonial troops, composed of both German officers and African askaris, locally recruited soldiers. The terrain around Mamfe, characterized by dense jungle and difficult river crossings, made the advance challenging for both sides. The Battle of Sanakang, Mamfe. The actual battle took place around Sanakang, a village in the vicinity of Mamfe, along the Cross River. In late 1915, after securing several outposts along the river, the British launched an assault to capture Mamfe and its surrounding areas. The Germans had fortified Sanakang as a key defensive position along the river, knowing that it would be a critical point in halting the British British attack. The British forces, primarily made up of the Nigeria Regiment, launched their assault on Sanakang from the west, using the river for transportation and supply. The British aimed to dislodge the German forces from their entrenched positions and open the route to Mamfe. The British employed artillery to bombard the German defenses before launching an infantry assault. The bombardment aimed to weaken the German fortifications and scatter their defensive lines to German defense. The Germans were well prepared and had entrenched positions around Sanakang, taking advantage of the natural terrain to strengthen their defenses. The askari troops, trained and led by German officers, put up stiff resistance using the dense jungle and riverbanks for cover. The Germans also had machine guns and small artillery pieces, which they used effectively to slow down the British advance. The fighting was intense, with both sides suffering significant casualties in the dense forest and difficult terrain. British breakthrough. After several days of heavy fighting, the British forces managed to break through the German defenses at Sanakang. The use of superior numbers, artillery, and coordinated attacks overwhelmed the German positions. The Germans were forced to retreat further into the interior, abandoning Sanakang and Mamfe to the advancing British forces. This marked a significant victory for the British, as it opened the way for further operations against German Cameroon aftermath and consequences. The capture of Mamfe and the surrounding area, including Sanakang, was a turning point in the British campaign in western Cameroon. The Germans, despite their strong defense, were unable to hold off the British advance and were gradually pushed back toward the interior of Cameroon. The fall of Mamfe allowed the British to link up with French forces advancing from the south and east, increasing pressure on the Germans. By 1916, the German forces in Cameroon had been largely defeated, and the colony was partitioned between Britain and France under the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. The region around Mamfe eventually became part of British-administered Cameroons, which was later split into present-day Nigeria and Cameroon. Significance. The Battle of Sanakang, Mamfe, was one of the many engagements that demonstrated the challenges of warfare in the dense African jungle during World War I.